witchcraft in disguise. First of all, we need to understand that witchcraft is primarily a work of the flesh. Galatians chapter 5, Paul lists the works of the flesh. And in verse 20, he mentions idolatry and sorcery. The old King James Version had witchcraft. But as I've pointed out, whether you say witchcraft, sorcery, or divination, they're just three different aspects of the same thing. So, first of all, witchcraft or sorcery is an expression of the carnal nature of man, because man's carnal nature desires to control other people and get them to do what we want. And that desire never comes from God. It's an expression of man's fallen nature. Secondly, very frequently, witchcraft is not just the flesh, but it's an evil spirit, a demon that has entered through the flesh. Just as you can have lust simply as an expression of man's fallen nature. But if a man regularly indulges lust, he will almost always end up a slave to a demon of lust, hatred, fear. All the strong emotions are the same. Basically, they're natural, but by yielding to them, we almost invariably become the slaves of spirits. Now, Yenka, I was here with this before you were, let me tell you that. And you'll have to acknowledge that. I'm glad we agree. But in my way of expressing it, my language is just a little different. After all, he's a Nigerian and I'm an Englishman. There are three key words that indicate the presence and operation of witchcraft. Number one, manipulate. Number two, intimidate. And number three, dominate. The goal is always the third one, to dominate. But there are two alternative routes. One is manipulation, the other is intimidation. Now I want to give you some examples. I'm going to try to describe a tiger to you. From now on, even though you may meet a tiger in different circumstances than mine, you'll know it's a tiger. That's my object. Now, manipulation can begin at birth. Psalm 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. Let me give you one very homey example. A little baby, a newborn baby, is in its cot, and its diaper, or its, its nappy is wet, and it cries. And along comes Mummy, picks it up, changes the nappy, and then gives it a hug and a cuddle. So the next time that baby wants to be hugged and cuddled, he cries, though his nappy is not wet. What is that? Manipulation. You don't have to be old to practice that. Now, let me give you a few examples from contemporary culture. First of all, the field of advertising. And I want to say much advertising is ethical and honest and serves a useful purpose. But in advertising, there is also a great deal of concealed witchcraft. Yes. And it appeals to pride and covetousness very subtly. I've talked to some people in the advertising business. You'd be amazed at the psychological expertise that goes into planning advertisements. What are the purposes of this manipulation. Well, here are two of them. To want what you don't need and to buy what you can't afford. And that is one major motivation of advertising today. What does it produce? Amongst other things, it leads to addictions. Nicotine, alcohol. You see that beautiful picture of the man with the cowboy hat on that wonderful horse? They don't even have to put a name there. But what does it say to you? Marlboro. Why don't you have a smoke? Or you're going down the street, as I was just the other day, I think in Bromley. There's this vivid picture of a healthy, happy-looking man with a tankard of beer in his hand. Doesn't have to say anything. You just look at him and think, I'd like a beer. What does it produce? It produces addiction to nicotine, to alcohol. And there's another addiction which isn't so commonly identified. You know what it is? Shopping.
Yes, amen.
You men, you say amen. Shopping is an addiction in many people. I was driving some time back in our car behind a lady from our church, and our church is a good church. But her bumper sticker on the rear said, I was born to shop. I thought to myself, what a confession from a born-again Christian. I was born to shop.